On this episode of DC On Screen, Jason and I have rewatched Superman Man of Tomorrow, the 2020 animated film that kicked off the Tomorrowverse, as that universe is probably/possibly coming to a close with the Crisis on Infinite Earths trilogy. We'll be going back and catching up on these films. We'll get into it after these words from our mystery parasites. Welcome into DC On Screen, the podcast bringing you news and reviews of the DC multiverse on film and television since 2015. I am your host, David C. Robertson, and this, like a specter from the furnace of Sloss, haunting this podcast, a Jason named Goss.
Unidentifiable, all of it. We had a couple of boss-ass concerts near my place.
Uh-huh.
At some point. I'm not sure those days are still in effect.
What, like concerts at Sloss Furnace?
Yeah.
Yeah, that still happens. Shit, they've been doing Furnace Fest the last few years again, so.
Did they last year? Oh, no, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Bunch of bands.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of bands. Mm-hmm. All right, before we get into this review, real quick, thank you to all the patrons out there. Patreon.com/DCOnScreen to help support the show at either the $1 or $5 tier. All the patrons get every episode dynamic ad-free. $5 patrons gets a little extra from time to time. Also, you can join for free and be a part of the community and see the public post and thankfully not the pubic post.
Yeah.
But we do have a new episode of Comic Castaways up right now. And I thought it was somewhat fun. We've had better episodes, but I enjoyed it nonetheless.
Those are fun because they just have no consequence. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. It's like an episode of Lost or something, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man.
But with more direction.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Superman, Man of Tomorrow. So when we first watched this, and I think we talked about it in one of our fandom episodes, whatever fandom it was that it premiered at.
I think the original.
Yeah. I hated it. But as I pointed out, I think last week, we were like in like hour 3 or 4 of just sitting and watching this shit, of watching fandom. And the last thing I wanted to do was like pay attention to and or love a movie.
It had gotten a bit taxing. I mean,
so
for context, my ass hurt.
Yes, and legs.
Yeah, we were just sitting there. Like, I'm very thankful that I have an office with a bathroom that's adjacent. Mm-hmm. In that moment.
Yeah, that was torment.
Mm-hmm, of course.
So I was happy to, go back and give it a shot after all this time. Because I haven't seen any of the Tomorrowverse movies except for that one. And I was so ugh, about that one that I haven't been super excited about any of the others. But you know what? I watched this thing and I was shocked at how much I really liked it.
I really enjoyed this, deeply. A lot of fun story in there. I thought I remembered this animation being like a little more annoying to me than it was, I guess.
Me too.
Watching it now, I just thought it was fine. It was just fine. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And high point of this is, man, that may be my favorite version of the costume. That is definitely my favorite version of the S. Like, without a doubt, that is my favorite version of that particular shape, color, the whole thing.
Okay. Well, I don't notice that much of a difference. Hey, I don't know. What's the difference? That just looks like your standard Superman S.
I know, but sometimes it's more curvy. Sometimes the yellow's not there. Sometimes things change.
Okay.
I just really like that version. It suits me a lot.
Yeah. I think, if we're going to talk about color, which I don't think we should stay on for too long, because Jesus. I think this is a little closer to burgundy than maybe I would like. But I didn't think about it while I was watching the movie. I'm only in retrospect having had you bring it up.
I mean, fair. But honestly, I don't even mean the coloring. I just mean the palette choice, I guess.
Yeah. Like the suit looks a little closer to the Brandon Routh Superman Returns suit,
which I really did like.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan, but kind of strange versions of those colors. But yeah, again, didn't notice it until you started talking about it.
Yeah, weird thing for me to glom onto. I understand.
It is, because you generally don't notice costumes.
Nope, typically don't.
One thing I did notice that I wasn't crazy about was like the Martian Manhunter's little his little gold pieces that attach the cape. The way they designed it, it just looks like little gold hearts. And it's weird.
Didn't like that?
I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
It was a little weird. But yeah, I loved that we started off though with a young Clark watching an alien movie and his friend being like, yeah, aliens are gross and weird and and he just like breaks down. This shit's been weighing on his heart, man.
Yeah.
Weighing on his young heart. And they have to come pick him up from his friend's Karen mom, who's like, it wasn't even that scary.
A lot of Man of Steel vibes in that scene.
Yeah, there were.
Which I know is after the fact, but yeah, a lot of the same themes in there. Just have to pick him up, something that doesn't match, doesn't fit in with the other kids, kind of thing. I don't know if to do speech in a way.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I really miss about watching these animated movies is watching them with you. Because when you and I would watch these movies, or these kinds of movies, it's always fun for you to be, pointing at the screen and going, I know that voice, blah. And, Bethany's really good at it. And I enjoy but she so rarely wants to watch a cartoon,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Did you catch who Pa Kent was?
No, I knew it was familiar. I had to look that one up.
Yeah. So do you know who it was now?
Neil Flynn.
Yeah. Knife French.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting there the whole time going like, God, it sounds so familiar. I know that voice. Oh my God. It can't be Mike Farrell. It kind of sounds like Mike Farrell because he was the voice of Pa Kent on the animated series. And I was like, God, no, it's not BJ Honeycutt, man. It's not. Every once in a while I think, maybe it is. No, there's something else. I know that voice and it ain't that. And finally it just hit me. And I was like, I think that's the janitor. And I had to look it up and I'm like, yes!
It's Tommy Curzon.
Yeah. So,
that one, I knew his voice, but I couldn't place it. I had to look that one up. The other one, I don't remember if I knew. I do not remember how much we talked about this or if I knew it. But man, Siler didn't get past me for half a second.
Yeah, man.
One sentence into him talking was, "Oh, cool. Hadn't seen you in a bit. What's up,
But
dude?"
you know what? I don't think I would mind seeing him as a live action Lex.
Not at all. I think it'd be a great job.
I think that would be something I'd be okay with.
Mm-hmm.
He did a fantastic job here, and I really liked Alexandria, or whatever her name is, Daddario. Alexandria Daddario, is that her name?
Yep.
That's right? Yeah. So I really liked her as Lois. I wouldn't mind seeing her as a live action Lois. Of course, I wouldn't mind seeing her as a live action anything for the most part. Not because she's hot, but because she's genuinely a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
She's not really my type, honestly, personally.
I get that. I mean, I'm honestly more used to Diodarios as guitar strings anyway, so it'd be weird for me, no matter how you do this.
No, it's funny because while I am not I have that weird thing in my head where I'm like, I can say compartmentalize and be like, yes, she is objectively attractive, and I understand that mainstream everyone's like, oh my dear Jesus, but at the same time I'm like, not my thing.
Yeah.
Same time, I've never seen someone who's so perfectly suited to be pretty much any female character in the DC universe. She could absolutely be Lois. She could absolutely be Wonder Woman and kill it. She could absolutely be Zatanna.
Yeah. No, it has that the classically dark featured kind of V face kind of thing. Yeah, you're right. There's very little you couldn't cast her to do.
Catwoman, she's got it.
Probably fine. Yeah.
Spray her
versions of
orange.
Hawkwoman if you want to.
Absolutely. Spray her orange. She could be coriander.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, whatever, man.
I think you've hit it on the mark there. That's why that would be a good consideration. It's a very classically drawn like version of that face, like the one that we're so used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right though.
Yeah, I mean, she's tall. She's very broad shouldered, so she could really, dude. She could pull off Big Barda like a mother, dude. Like she could do that.
Would be
shit.
a great one actually. That's actually my favorite suggestion so far. Although I do wonder because they're like if you cast Big Barda for anything, you have to have some dude that's several inches shorter, frankly.
Okay.
To be Miracle. So like,
are you getting at Mr. Miracle being played by Adam Devine?
No, not necessarily. I'm just wondering how tall she was because we just got to go a few inches shorter, and I was wondering what the range became at that point.
That's like a little deep cut. They were in a time travel romantic comedy thing together, but
no. Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't know. I wonder how tall she actually is. 5'8". God, she looks so much taller than that.
All right, so we have to have Tom Cruise, who actually would do a great job as Mr.
old.
Miracle.
He's so old.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do it.
But the right size.
I don't know.
I feel like Adam Devine's probably about 5'9", if I was just guessing.
I always feel like he's like 4 feet tall or something.
These things are fun to guess at, because who the fuck knows or cares?
That's your way of saying move on. Oh my Christ, he is 5'8". That is bizarre. I was like, I was for sure that like he was looking up to her that entire movie.
Apparently not.
Anyway, so I really enjoyed so much of this movie. I really liked the alien versus monster from Earth angle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's face it, he was like, because Superman's like, he's from here, I'm the alien.
Yeah.
Cool. Except
Good
he was
speech.
infected by some alien shit.
Well, sure. But he was from here. And
Yes.
if we're just talking about like immigration status issues, then yeah.
Yeah. Which I felt like there was a lot of that hinted at because like Rudy Jones, the guy that becomes Parasite, his wife and, his wife seems to be possibly not from here. Like they very specifically made her Latina, it seems, maybe.
Yeah. Something.
So there was maybe an idea of like just like a through line of quote unquote alien status in the United States, because the film also really gets into like, here's Clark, he's an alien. Here's Martian Manhunter, an alien. And here's Lobo, an alien, all the last of their kind, and them coming together to stop somebody from Earth. Of course, at the end, they'd kind of gloss over the fact that Lobo pretty much made him into this creature, but whatever.
I mean, it's Lobo. You just pretty much have to build some stuff if he's going to be around.
Yeah, and by the way, Ryan Hurst did a fantastic job playing Lobo.
Yeah.
The voice was fantastic. The character was delightful. Yeah. That was Lobo, dude. As he comes in and like Lex calls him in and he like gives Superman the bird with the freaking kryptonite ring on.
Of course.
Yeah, I thought they could have done a little more with the I don't know, the alien thing, because they hinted at it so much, but they it felt like dropped it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well, sure. I mean, yeah, but they also bookended it really well. I mean,
yeah,
all of them being back and the whole, it's like the Last Son's story.
Mm-hmm.
Which was a lot of fun because Lobo basically, leaves out being, the dick he always is. Because he pretty much peels off saying like, yeah, y'all are full of shit. Like your entire life's journey is worthless. There were more of you. I just didn't say anything. Bye.
Yeah. He's like, the last of our kinds. Of course, I killed all of my people.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Except for me, because
Anyway.
I'm kind of actually a dick. But like, yeah, y'all are good. There's more of y'all probably.
And I love that, like, while John goes off to find his people, Clark is like, I've found mine. That was nice.
That was.
And I loved that they didn't push the Lois Clark romance.
No, it's clearly in there, but yeah, it wasn't.
They have chemistry. That's all I'll
upon,
say.
I guess.
They just had chemistry.
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate that at an important moment, she decides to leave the story behind and let him do his thing.
Mm-hmm. Is it just me, or did, like, Martian Manhunter's true form just look like a big green vagina with teeth? Like his head, I mean.
No, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's a little V-ish. I was more concerned that I felt like I could see his intestines.
Maybe. But whoever does Martian Manhunter in live action next, I hope they see this movie. And I hope they love the one thing that I really loved. And one addition to Martian Manhunter. The one thing I've never seen before with him. That bizarre, creepy hum.
Mm.
When he's just floating towards Lobo and he's like... like, oh my God, that was awesome.
I feel pretty confident you just did the instrument pretty well.
Yeah, whatever it was.
It's going to be a didgeridoo, I think, if it was your impression. Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. I loved that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I wish we had gotten a little more time with Clark in the the like aviator get up, but with the cape.
That was fun. That just was fun.
I think I like that suit more than his Superman suit, to be honest. It's sort of like the season 1 of Daredevil suit. It looks better than any of the subsequent ones.
Yeah.
It's like,
a little bit of that effect.
Yeah, I kind of dig this.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a dude in a jacket with aviator goggles. I dig it. Got to keep shit out of your eyes, bro. But it was funny that, like, they showcased the impracticality of it because, like, he gets in one major fight and, like, his clothes are just shredded.
That actually cracked me up too. They talk about how hard it was to like shear down the clothing to make his costume.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me was like, I don't care how many pairs of scissors you went through. That still shouldn't be even like in the cards even.
What do you mean?
To actually like cut through Kryptonian clothing feels like it's supposed to be something that's just impossible.
Why?
And it's a good point. I don't know why that should be impossible, but it does seem like it's supposed to transfer some part of the like velocity of Superman, like getting the yellow sun powers and all that.
Mm-hmm. I see. There was a weird. It felt like an incongruity here in this movie because there were a couple of bits, but so Martha says that they had to go through all these bandsaws to cut the fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Thereby hints that Kryptonian fabric is much, much stronger than Earth fabric. But, Lobo is like, I never seen a Kryptonian do that shit. You're weird strong. What the hell? So my headcanon, and maybe it was their intention, is that Kryptonians generally are so son of a bitching weak that they have, with their vast technology, created really strong clothing so that their simple, weak bodies could withstand, the pressures of normal day life. Because I don't think his suit is soaking up the sun.
No, I don't think it's that at all. I just kind of always have the impression that suit has extra power too, and that doesn't really make sense when you think about it. But
it doesn't.
It seems like it would be stronger in a way, but not in any...
I mean, it can. It's just
not in any way that should like matter. I kind of get it.
I like my theory.
I like your theory too. I just don't love. I don't know. It doesn't seem like his mom would have cut him, a blanket on Krypton, and then we got here, and it would have just like cut like a piece of normal wool for some reason. It shouldn't be that simple, but it also shouldn't be that strong either.
Well, I mean, it would make sense, even if Kryptonians weren't generally, even if they were just as strong as we are generally on their world, it would make sense that Martha would, make the material that he's swaddled in extra strong so that, it protects the baby during the space flight.
I mean, yeah, but are we talking about the equivalent of ordering like extra thick toilet paper?
Maybe on Krypton. I mean, every iteration we've seen pretty much of Krypton, they just have like freaking replicators.
Yeah. I mean, what does this really amount to as far as the protection?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, apparently a bandsaw can't get through it. Not completely. I mean, it takes 12 of them or something like that.
Several can.
See, she said that, and I wanted to know, what the hell did you stitch it with?
True, yeah.
Or is the needle, were the threads, was it porous enough that they could just get the threads through and just, well,
yeah,
I got it sewed.
I mean, I'm sure she's a fine seamstress as far as that goes to have made it happen, but.
I was going to say a very talented seamstress. She has to be.
To have even gotten it done.
She has to be. Oh, God.
It does make you wonder, though, like, because anything from Krypton seemed to have been a problem when it's, near Superman, as far as fragments of the actual planet, so.
Which, how did Lobo know that if he didn't even know that Superman was strong?
I just think he had a cool ring, like to punch people with it.
He seemed to know what was going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
Or was Lobo bluffing when he acted shocked? Has he been watching Superman for a while now? I have questions.
I never take him to be someone who's that deliberate about his approach to things. He just seems more like he's going to like sledgehammer the situation.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd watch him just in case he ever got a bounty.
Oh, no. I'm just saying maybe he got the bounty and then he watched him for a minute and be like, let's see what this bastard can do.
Oh, yeah. But even in that ground, I feel like he just gets the bounty, reads the name, and says, well, here we go.
Which, by the way, they never said who put the bounty on Superman. I
know, but I in the few Lobo stories I've seen, like they never seem to account for who's doing the bountying. It's just that's what he's doing, and we're on our way.
Well, yeah. Sometimes he's just showing up of his own volition, but
yeah,
like in Justice League when he shows up because he just wants to be a member because Superman's dead.
Yeah. He can be a bad stitch by himself too.
Sure.
Without help.
So what did you like? What are you watching this? What do you want to see going forward in this so-called Tomorrowverse?
I don't know. I liked a lot of what I was seeing as far as the heart of where that Superman character is. And
I did too. Darren Criss did a good job. I don't know who he is. I know he's like a singer or something, but he did a good job here.
I mean, we've seen him before as Mick Spitlick, but
okay,
on Supergirl.
Okay, he must have been the one that was before Thomas Lennon. Yeah, yeah,
and
which is pretty much the only one I remember for real.
Yeah, but I mean, I did see him there, and I mean, I know he's from Glee and all that. I know that much about his trajectory, but that's it. But other than that, it was a great job here.
Mm-hmm. By the way, since Thomas Lennon playing Mixia Spitlick and Supergirl,
goddamn,
I do headcanon that he is that is Mixie playing the Doctor in Dark Knight Rises, telling Bruce that his knee is all messed up.
Yeah, I could deal with that.
Sort of an FU to Batmite, who's over there whining that he's the world's greatest Batman fan.
I talked to somebody at work about this just days ago, where they brought up that movie, and I was like, man, I haven't seen that movie in a decade, and if you want to just sit down for 2 hours, I can talk to you about details about how much I hate certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Details, including just noticing that was Thomas Lennon that one time.
Yeah.
Because I was so mad about someone I liked so much doing a device that I hated so much.
Oh, I think it was actually not a decade, but I think it was like 8 years. When did
that movie come out? I thought it was like 2013.
Yes, but we didn't review it on our show until 2015 because we had not started the show until 2015.
Oh, yes. But I watched about 30 minutes of it and turned it off before we did that review.
Oh,
because
I did not know that.
I found that I did not need the refresher. I'm almost certain that that's in my part of the review, that I just didn't do the whole thing.
I mean, who's got 3.5 hours to go back and listen to that review and find out if that's true?
It would be a better use of the 3.5 hours than watching the film again.
That's true. Well, to show how much we've grown, we're at 31 minutes in our recording, and I'm pretty tapped out. I don't know what else to say.
No, fair enough, yeah.
What else? You got anything? You got anything else, man?
No, not in particular. I felt like we didn't attack this actual film very hard. But
No. Why, though? It was pretty good.
No, I enjoyed the shit out of it. No, I just mean like we didn't focus that hard on the film. But
well, there wasn't a lot to focus on.
There isn't. It's a very straightforward story, and I enjoyed it.
It's like Superman, not Superman yet.
Yeah.
Lobo come to kill Kryptonian. Lex Luthor buys the bounty out from him. Martian Manhunter there for a minute. Rudy Jones sad that his daughter thinks he's a monster, but
yeah.
What else is he gonna do? He's hungry for power.
I don't know. I mean, you got this pretty well recapped.
Yeah, I did. I did like the bit at the end where he, they keep trying to get him away from the power plant, and he just finally all in and grabs onto that power plant and just grows so bulbous.
Oh, the old sacrifice play.
Well, I don't even know if it was a sacrifice play necessarily. Is that what it was? Or was he just so desperate for power and then too much power killed him? Like he finally found his limit and he became stone.
I don't know. It was after all the nice speeches. I thought it was a sacrifice play. That's how I read it watching it.
That's one way to look at it. I just saw it as
It is hard to watch a giant lizard emote.
Yeah. And Parasite's never been one of my favorites anyway.
No.
Whatever version they do.
Yeah. But fully grant that it's one of the neat ways to make Superman, have actual problems with his villains. But I agree. It's hard to make that. That's the hard line for me. Is it's hard to make it something that depowers Superman without me also being bored about depowered storylines in general.
Mm-hmm.
Superlines. That's good too.
Yeah.
I want to keep that around.
I just want more Lobo for real.
I don't blame you. It was good. I mean, I want a tiny universe where, Lobo comes back and Martian hands him an Oreo and says, "This is what you remind me of," or something, and they bond because, holy shit, snack time.
Sure, that brings the world together.
Yeah. You gonna tell me those two wouldn't throw down over some fucking ice cream?
Maybe.
Hell yeah, they would.
Probably. By the way, the guy that did Martian Manhunter, I don't have my cast list now. Give me a second. I want to give proper credence to the man.
Mm-hmm.
Ike Amati. Martian Man, dude, he did a great... I thought it was dude from Supergirl / Justice League.
Oh, it was great.
It sounded just like him.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fantastic job.
Yeah, that was solid.
I really, really liked this version of Martian Manhunter.
Me too. I like that they're giving him all the early... they're not disguising him. They're letting him have all his, transformation powers early on. He's just as strong as Superman in certain ways. Superman has kind of a buddy. I like it.
Yeah. And I love that, so much of, I love how they tied in Clark learning about his heritage and his people to Martian Manhunter being like, oh, yeah, I picked up some Kryptonian in your memory. Here you go. I loved it. I forgot
about that part. That was cool.
That was that is and I'm hopeful for James Gunn introducing the universe, because that was a really good organic way to have Martian Manhunter in the story and make it make sense. And I loved it. I loved that little, because they are so similar.
Mm-hmm.
They are so in the way he was I saw what you could do, and your powers are so close to mine. I hoped. That was so
cool
good.
Moment.
That's so good.
That was cool. Which you gotta love that I know I talked about it before, but like the deflation of that moment where it just Lobo's like, oh yeah, there's more of you dickbags out there.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how like sentimental and hopeful and amazing that moment was. And then him just throwing fire on it.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what Lobo would do.
Yeah, of course. And that's the fucked up part about Lobo is like he would just say something like that and not even know if it was true or give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh yeah, no, I saw like 4 of you guys. They're over in this thing. Oh, you? Yeah. Oh, you're over here. And just like drive away and laugh for like an entire galaxy. Just gut laugh.
Yeah. Piece of shit.
It's kind of a douche. Fun though. A lot of fun though.
So on the roster, I don't know what you want to do about this because they have, technically this is the second installment of the Tomorrowverse because like a couple of months before this came out, a short film about Adam Strange came out. And I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, it's elusive.
Like a little 16-minute film.
Well, we'll track it down.
We'll try to track it down. And but the next movie we're reviewing, though, is Justice Society World War II. And next week we'll have news, and then we'll come back to Justice Society World War II. So in 2 weeks, you got 2 weeks to watch this movie, y'all. If you want to listen to us talk for 40 minutes about it.
Mm-hmm. I'm on it. It pops up the picture at the end of that movie, and it's nice how much they made that look like Linda Carter. There's like clearly a deliberate effort.
Cool. Just looked like Wonder Woman to me.
Just seemed like it had the specific cheekbone structure, I guess.
All right. I give it to you, man.
Well,
I agree.
If you look at it later and disagree, let me know.
I will. I definitely will.
Vehemently.
With prejudice.
Yeah.
And vengeance, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I don't feel like we're shortchanging the movie by doing this so quickly, but
yeah, genuine fun.
Good stuff. Go check it out. A lot better than I remembered it. I like the animation a lot more than I remember.
That was a big takeaway for me.
Yeah.
I think I shortchanged that earlier, a couple years ago.
I know we both did.
Mm-hmm.
I know we both did.
We was wrong.
So, we was wrong. See? Sometimes you just got to change your mind. Change your heart. Be like Jerry Springer now.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind to one another. Be kind to yourselves and to one another, or whatever the hell he said.
That weird speech where he tried to crawl down everything that just happened on the show. That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Decent mayor, though.
I've heard. Alrighty. I guess that's it. Until next time, keep some DC on your screen.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening to DC on Screen. Our theme song is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford of Galactic Engineers. The incidental music is by Michael Shackelford and Kevin MacLeod. You can rate the show on Spotify or rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Doing that really helps push our show to new listeners, so your help would be much appreciated. You can also contact the show at DC On Screen on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or email us at dconscreen@gmail.com. To become a patron and get ad-free episodes and exclusive content, go to patreon.com/DCOnScreen. Your reviews and feedback may end up on a future episode of DC On Screen. DC On Screen is a production of Maladjusted.tv in association with Stranded Panda. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever damn platform you use.